Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're here in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and today we're going to talk about something that sometimes people are a little bit embarrassed to bring up and aren't sure how to begin the conversation about, and that is, how do you ask for a raise? I know it's not always easy. I mean, we all would like to make more money, but we really have to think about is, how do I go to my boss and go, boss, please pay me more money? Yeah, the begging probably doesn't work. I'm just gonna start off with that one. You could do it, but it might not work, okay? So I wanna kind of go through a few things you should think about and be working on in order to ask for a raise. And the first thing you really have to think about is building your case for a raise. I mean, just because you built a new house that you can't afford, or you bought a new car, or you have twins on the way, right? That is not a reason for your boss to give you a raise. Now, it's a reason why you need more money, but it's not a reason for your boss to give you more money, okay? Because then you have to think about it. Well, if you bought a house you can't afford, I have to pay you more. Well, what if Sahil buys a house that he can't afford? Or Patricia buys a house she can't afford? Do I need to pay them more as well? We have to think about that. You have to look at it in a realistic business situation because you really have to build a compelling case, okay? Look, I've increased sales over the last 6 months for our group. I have been the #1 salesperson for the last 2 years. I've brought in 10 new clients. I've consistently won the Employee of the Month award. You know, I've been promoted. There's things you're looking at and you're showing them to build your case. Look, yeah, you should get a raise for being Employee of the Month 6 times in a row and bringing in the most new clients. Yeah, those are great reasons to get a raise. You know, if you think about it, look, I've been ranked as one of the top professors in the world. I've been, getting all the teaching awards. Yes, and so I build my case to my boss of why I deserve that raise. That's something you have to think about. Now, when you're building your case, another thing you have to think about is also maybe building it. If you're not looking at numbers, you might look at responsibility. Look, I'm now managing, 10 more people. I'm now managing a group of 200, sales associates. That is showing more responsibility. So you kind of are building your case. And the thing is, when you're building your case, the next step is you've got to build your case over time. It's not just one day. Like, look, it's like with athletes. When they have one great year, they're like, yes, let's get paid. Let me give the biggest salary. I should be a max salary person. But the management's like, look, you had one good year. How do I know that one good year wasn't a fluke? You need to build it over time. Oh, you won the Rookie of the Year, and then you were an All-Star the second year and the Defensive Player of the Year the next year. Heck yeah, with those kind of things, I'm definitely going to give you a raise. So you build it over time. And the thing is when you're building it over time, you want to remind your boss of your wins. Because look, there's only 2 people in this world that are going to cheer for you. One is your mom, and you can't take your mom to ask for a raise. If you do, I'm pretty sure it won't happen. I'm pretty sure of that. And 2 is you. So you got to be that promoter. Hey, boss, look what I won. Look what I've done. Look how much I've done. And over time, you're reminding them and you're building up that case, and you're building up that case over time. So that can really help. So those are the first 2 things. Now, the next thing you really need to do when you're looking at raises is also research the going rates. I mean, if you see that people at other places are making more money than you, you can go and say, here's my case, boss, and I would like a raise, and I see that the competition at this bank is making 20% more than we are here. That can give some justification. The market is dictating to pay more. And here's one of those things. If you don't get the raise and you see that other places are paying so much better, you might want to look into working at some of those other places. Okay, I know sometimes companies will use the loyalty. Oh, we've been loyal to you. You should stay with us and take less money. It's kind of like the hometown discount they ask the athletes. Look, I say, forget that. Like, that those athletes, they get cut like that. Like NFL, boom, you're gone. Look, there's no loyalty there, so why should I be loyal to you? That's why when you're looking at raises, you have to be honest with yourself. If you can make 50% more someplace else, you really have to think about moving to that other job if your current job is not going to give you a raise to a point that makes you feel comfortable where you are. That's why it's really important to research that. And sometimes you do the research and find out, I'm already paid pretty well. I guess there's not much room I can do, so I'm going to really have to build up a good case why I deserve the raise, because I can't use industry numbers for that, okay? Now, another thing I have to think about is timing, because timing of when you're going to ask is going to be important, because one thing you might think in terms of timing is, I've got to just had a big win, to like reinforce everything to say, now it's the time to ask. Well, yes, there is that, but also you have to look at in terms of your boss's perspective. When does your boss get to give raises? You know, for me, my contracts are in August. That's when it comes up, but they have to discuss their budget like in April and May. So if I'm asking for a raise in July, it's hard to get a raise because they've already made those decisions. You have to look at it and say, look, it might be when your performance review is coming up. So before that performance review, what you want to do is make sure you're building up your case and ask your boss, look, I'm going to be looking for a raise, so your boss can kind of prepare for that performance review. And they could say, look, this is why we're going to give you a raise, this is why we're not going to give you a raise, so you have an idea. So the timing is right for just the kind of bureaucratic processes of getting that raise, because it could be different depending on companies. Some can do it like that, some cannot, okay? So you have to think about that. Also, if you're asking for that raise, here's a key thing. When your boss says, no, I can't give you that raise, ask them, what do you need to do in order to get that raise? And make sure you note those things down and do all those things. And after you've done all of them and you still don't get the raise, then it really is time to do that research at other companies and maybe look for another job, because you're not going to get that raise in the future either. Or maybe you will, but it is where you really start getting frustrated, okay? And that's the thing, is just because you ask for a raise doesn't mean you're going to get one, okay? It sucks, but it's true. If your case isn't compelling, or if you're looking at timing, like we're in a recession, we have no extra money, there's going to be issues with finances, sometimes they just can't give you raises. That's why it's always important to have a plan B. Yes, maybe that plan B is to go get a different job, but let's not get that extreme. It could be asking your boss, well, could I get more vacation days? Could I get, maybe a stipend for babysitters? Or maybe I could get, my phone paid for, maybe a company car. Or hey, what if you work in a major city and they give you free parking? I mean, shoot, that could be worth thousands of dollars a year just getting free parking in downtown Chicago or some other places. So sometimes you look at raises, maybe not necessarily financially, but you look at it in terms of other things you could get. Because I know, imagine getting an extra day off. Like, oh, you get to work from home on Fridays. How much is that worth to you? Or maybe 3 extra vacation days. You know what? That's worth a little bit more to me. You kind of think about these little things. That can be something that helps out. Or maybe, I know with the nonprofit which was they actually ran this Georgia State Railroad, which is funny that honked. They actually gave her time, and they said, look, you can bring your kid to meetings. When Caleb was a baby, she could bring him with. And they also gave her that, hey, you can leave earlier to go work with your kid, and you can work from home as long as your work gets done. They had other things out there that, look, we can't pay you a lot because we're a nonprofit, but we can give these extra benefits that can make life easier for you, because not having to pay a babysitter every day saves a lot of money. Taking my word for it as a parent, not having to pay for babysitting is like money in the bank, even though you're not making money for it, okay? So these are just some things you really got to think about before you go and ask for a raise, or like looking at how to ask for a raise. And I hope this can help you. And if you have other tips from your situations of asking for raises, please put in the comments section below so other people can learn like some tips and tricks and hacks about learning how to get a raise, so we can help everybody out and get a little bit farther in this world. So I wish you all the best, and I'll say bye from here in beautiful, very sunny Cheyenne, Wyoming. And it's going to be 91 degrees today, and in 2 days it's going to snow. So it's a little crazy here in Wyoming. All right, I wish y'all the best. Bye.